So just quickly guys, I really liked this photo that is from this video that I took, and I decided to put it on my website as a print. I think it'll look really good in any home. If you use the code MAC20 at checkout, you can get 20% off that print. There's obviously a whole lot of other prints here that you can see. You can even search by your city or country. There's even some blog stuff there that includes free presets and stuff, how to use your camera. And there's even some t-shirts if you want to represent your hobby wearing something cool. So go ahead and check that out at macintoshphoto.com. So recently I had the absolute joy of spending a bunch of time in the south of France. And this video, as you've probably seen from the title, is shot in Montpellier. This photo coming up is kind of a little bit strange, but I really like the movement in it. And movement is something that I really like in my photos. I also really like the silhouette of the gentleman in the background there with the hat. And here I tried to line up another shot with just him, but it didn't really work out. Ultimately, this is just me getting started for the day. Kind of walking around, firing off a few easy shots, and just kind of shaking off the cobwebs a little bit. I didn't photograph as much as I probably should have there, but I was focusing on some other work stuff, and ended up deciding that, to be honest, I kind of just wanted to photograph more and more. And so it wasn't until later in my trip there that I ended up doing quite a bit of photography. And these next couple of shots here are kind of just in the same vein. This is still just me warming up, cracking off a few easy shots. And that would be my advice to any new street photographers out there, or maybe someone who considers themselves an amateur, is just when you get out as fast as possible, crack off a few shots. Because I remember, at least when I was early in my street photography journey, that I would be an hour or two into a walk when I hadn't even taken a photo yet, like not even a bad photo. And that's just because eventually I would just get a little bit paralyzed by the anxiousness of waiting for that first good photo of the day. So fire them off. And so by now I'm starting to really see things that I like. And I see this gentleman sitting down here browsing some books outside this bookstore. And I get this easy shot from behind him, which I'm not happy with. Because, well, it's too easy. It's a decent shot, but I know that there's more there. And right here is basically where you can see me deliberating, talking myself into taking a better photo and approaching him. And just kind of scouting the scene, making sure that I feel comfortable enough to approach. My advice again to anybody out there, just go and ask. I know it can seem scary, and it seems scary for me. That's why it took me a second to turn around. But what ends up happening here is a really beautiful interaction, and I get much better photos out of it. So from here, I think I will let the audio of that interaction take over, and, well, you can see how it goes.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. Would you mind if I shot your photo real quick with you sitting there? You look great, and you're amongst the books and everything. It looks. Okay. I'm gonna try to go through here, but you can just resume. I'll be 2 seconds. Here you go, bro. Sorry if you can't see so well. But...
Oh, it's really nice.
I think it's cool, huh? I kind of snuck one from behind you before. Hey, my pleasure. Enjoy the rest of the day.
Yeah, thanks very much.
Take care.
Can we give you our Instagram so you can
Yeah, sure, of course.
I don't have Instagram.
Yeah,
sorry,
I'll send it to you.
That's very nice. Hey, my pleasure, man. You look great, bro. Yeah, it's me there, bro.
Nice.
If you just send me a message, and I can
I'm good.
get it out to you. Hey, you're very welcome. Thank you.
But nice to. Yes, I thank you.
Of course, man. Gotta get recognized. Hey, enjoy the rest of the day, guys.
Have a good day.
Take it in.
And so there you have it, really beautiful interaction, and I'm really grateful that I met those guys. Happy that I turned around and went to ask. You can see how well that can go, and to be honest, majority of the time it goes pretty well, and the worst that you're going to get is a no. Here coming up is the one that I ended up shooting for today's print, and one photo that I'm very happy with. I don't know why, it's just very aesthetically pleasing. And I feel like it would look good in any living room, so I decided to put it up on the website. And you can see how easy that was to get in a way. I mean, easy in the sense that all your training leads up to it, but Some photos just present themselves and they work out on the day. And this is another one where it kind of didn't. I really saw a photo here. Obviously, his stance on the ladder was really cool, but the photo just didn't turn out as nice as I would have liked it to. And there you can see the complete contrast of snapping away at something that doesn't really seem that exciting and ending up with a really great photo, or then trying to photograph something that looks a little more interesting and it just doesn't work out. So another little piece of advice: photograph everything, especially if you're on digital. It doesn't really cost you anything and you might get something great. Here's a scene that I saw coming up very obviously. The swinging of the kid there under the gentleman's legs. I was really hoping it was going to happen again, so I paused here for a second, was able to grab this and checked in with the father. It's okay.
Is it okay? I appreciate it. Thank you, bro. Have a good day.
And he was kind enough to okay it, which was, that's always cool. He had a smile on his face and didn't seem too bothered, to be honest. And that was largely my experience of photographing in Montpellier, is that most people didn't really seem to be too bothered that you were photographing, which was really nice. I obviously don't expect people to understand what I'm doing or care about street photography, but yeah, it just makes life a little bit easier when you're walking around and people have a smile on their face rather than kind of grimacing at you and wondering what the hell you're doing. Here I just took this little reflection shot. It's something that I'll grab a couple of times in this video as well. And I don't know why, it's something I look out for when I'm on the street, just a little bit. Maybe it's a Vivian Maier-esque type influence, but otherwise it's a way to prove I was there without taking any obvious selfies. This here was a spot in the city that's pretty interesting. I can definitely see a lot more photos happening in this place. I came up here a few times when I wasn't recording, or maybe I was recording and didn't use the footage, but I know there's photos to be had here. Maybe it would require different light. I got a little bit lucky with that movement right there, and this lady there putting on her scarf. But otherwise, yeah, it's a cool spot. It's one of the little overlooks in the city that you could use. I snapped this other kind of easy photo here. Nothing exciting really, but I don't know, just trying to exercise that muscle a little bit and maybe make a little mental note for myself that I could return back to this spot and there might be something there. And so by now I'm probably really in the zone for photography, and you can see that I get a little bit more bold on how close I'm shooting to people. This one, I wish it worked out a little bit better. I don't know why. I think probably the lighting wasn't great, so I had to push some of the shadows and stuff, not really getting the contrast out of it that I would have liked. But I probably could have gotten a slightly better angle, or to be honest, which would have been the smartest idea, is actually to approach him and ask if I could take his photo. And I probably would have ended up with a much better photo. So there you have it. Me not asking results in probably not a great photo. It's not always the case. Of course, we want our candid moments too. But I think in that situation, it would have been much better suited for a street portrait. And speaking of which, another reflection here. I don't know why, I'm just chucking those in. I hope you guys enjoy those. You get to see a little bit of me for whatever that's worth. I mean, I don't often have my photo taken in general, so snapping a couple of little reflection selfies there. This spot is a spot that I was waiting in for quite a while, to be honest. I saw those pigeons. That's hilarious that he apologized to me as he drove off because he scared the pigeons. He saw me leaning down to take that photo. Ended up getting a great photo with him in it. I'm really happy with that one as well. But it's just funny that people there are so polite they will apologize for anything. Now again, I knew this spot had a lot of potential, and I saw this family approaching. I'd seen it a couple of times that kids had sort of run through the pigeons. And here you can see me motioning to the family. I think it was to the father I made eye contact with. Just pointing out, can I take this photo as their kid approached the pigeons. And Fujifilm really done me good on this one. The screen froze as soon as I went to take the photo, and I only managed to snap a couple of these really average shots. So the moment that all the birds flew away, I was composed, everything was in place, everything was in focus. And I don't know, was it that when I hit the shutter button, it kind of did the auto focus or something like that. But it just kind of bricked for literally like half a second, and I missed the shot. So thanks again, Fujifilm, for making wonderful digital cameras that sometimes run like ass. On another note, I have been trying to photograph a little bit more stuff that is without people on the street. So just things I find on the street that might be a little bit funny or strange. This was just kind of an obvious, easy one. I don't know, it just kind of reminds me of like a drunk Santa or something like that. This was just a few days out from Christmas that I shot this video. So yeah, another one that I captured through the window here. Just not the greatest photo, but a little bit funny. Kind of looks like this guy is dining there with the big teddy bear, and that he's on his phone, which makes it just, I don't know. In my mind, the story is that the relationship's not doing too well and they're going out for dinner and he's busy on his phone. So, little silly photo there, but why not grab it as you pass? And as we go through these streets, please take a moment to just look how beautiful this place is. It's super clean, but on top of that, just the architecture and the stuff that's been preserved in this city is so stunning. I mean, this is the old town of Montpellier, so there are other parts of the city, don't get me wrong. But yeah, it's absolutely stunning. You don't see any huge advertisements anywhere or any eyesores like that. Such a cool place. If you're traveling, I would highly recommend it. It's a very young city. There's a lot of universities, so the population age average is really low, which just means there's a lot of excitement in life. But I would say that they have a lot of culture going on and a lot of appreciation for arts and music. And as you can see here, there's a street band playing. I didn't know if it was specifically because of Christmas, but there was a lot of performances and all that kind of thing happening around the city in the months leading up to Christmas. Otherwise, I think in general there's always something happening there, whether it to be put on by the city or put on by the universities. And it makes it overall just such a dream for street photography. I mean, the comparison to photographing in Helsinki to photographing here was absolutely huge. Now, obviously, I scout this scene for a little bit. I'm not big on photographing performers, like whether it to be buskers or these sort of street performances, but I do like this photo because it does include someone who's not technically part of the performance. The lady dancing there, I only just managed to snap it. You can see she's already out of the frame. So a little bit lucky there and just being quick on it and watching what's going around. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, I feel like these performers of any kind who are on the street, they're just a little bit on display for everybody anyways, and I don't think it really takes too much skill to be photographing them. But again, one of my rules that I always tend to follow is that if you feel like you should take a photo of it, just do it, and you can figure out later whether you want to publish that in your Instagram or portfolio or however you want to do it. Now, as you can see coming up here, I do enter this church. I only really did this as a test for the GoPro to see how it was in these lower light conditions, but I figured I'd leave it in. Going through these old churches is something that you end up doing a lot when you're in Europe, but if I do have any viewers from outside of Europe who have never been, maybe you would appreciate that a little bit. There's a lot of them everywhere, and every single one of them is super beautiful. This is another reflection shot, obviously. I think it's a cool one, actually. I kind of like it. And here coming up is the type of photo that I really don't like. It's not a great photo anyways. You will see that there's this leaf placed right over the gentleman's face, so you can't really see him, and he's on his phone. But maybe if it wasn't that case, you know, maybe it would be a decent photo. And I sort of thought about it, and I was like, even in the best case scenario, I don't think it's the type of photo I'd like anymore. Just too far away, too voyeuristic. This photo I do like, however. It's still a little bit too distant for my liking, but anything to do with pizza, I'll take it. I did end up circling back around to where the band was just before. The old town isn't that big, so you'll find that if you end up walking around a bit, you might just end up circling back to where you were. This photo coming up, I don't know why I kind of like it, or I don't know why I took it. I think it was just like a weird juxtaposition of colors and somehow what looks like an expensive outfit with cardboard boxes. I don't know what the joke is there. I feel like there has to be one, but it's in there. Maybe it'll take me some time to figure out exactly what that is. Sometimes photography is just that way. Maybe you could call it sort of artist's intuition or something like that. Here's another scene I just honestly left in the video because it's so beautiful. I'm trying to show people a little bit of the city as I walk around as well. I have such a huge appreciation of the city after being there for a little while. There's so many beautiful places, just like this courtyard. Here is the crescendo. This is potentially the best photo of the day. You can see I just confirmed there quickly, am I allowed to take this photo? They nodded, and I just couldn't really believe this scene, and it was a lot of pressure to try to get a good photo here. I could have worked the scene a little bit more because they were super cool, but I didn't want to bother them too much. I would have liked to get a little bit closer, but then I would have scared all the pigeons. But really happy with this photo here, both in black and white and in color, so I put it. Wasn't stoked about that big red balloon in the background, but I managed to crop most of that out. And here's me walking away knowing I got a really, really good photo to end the day. And that will be it for today's video. If you enjoyed that, please do go ahead and like and subscribe.